You are listening to a special edition of the Pacers Report. Mike Rich's and Grant Shouse's reaction to the Pacers' 114-113 loss to the New York Knicks on Thursday night. And it's only on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Welcome back, Pacers fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for a special edition of the Pacers Report with Mike Rich, and today guest Grant Shouse, our IU guy, caught the Pacers game tonight and wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the Pacers and Knicks 114-113 New York Knicks victory on Jalen Brunson's three-pointer in the final seconds. Pacers had a chance to win and could not take advantage. And they fall to 6-21. Losing to the Knicks always sucks, Mike.
Yeah, this is the one game. You hope they come out and it's a great first quarter, shitty second quarter, decent third quarter, horrible start to the fourth quarter. To be up 16 in the second half and let that slip away, they just can't let those leads slip away, especially like that. This is a game, any game you want to win, any game a fan wants to see them win is this game. So just another heartbreaker. They were in it the entire game, and then I didn't feel like they were going to win it. I texted you like at the end of the game, said I was going to be pissed by the time we did this podcast, and that's exactly what I am watching them. So,
but the good news, and there's two good newses, Mike. One is we won when it counted last year and the year before, so they can have a regular season win anytime. And also, every loss helps with the draft.
Silver lining playbook that you have. That's
right.
Very nice grade.
Win-win season, man. Every win shows the development.
It is, but I get tired of watching them in the game for a little bit, but they can put a good 3 quarters together, but they just can't finish. They can't hold on to anything. They don't have anybody that can close out a game. I could have told you exactly how the game was going to end if I knew it was going to be that close at the end. I knew Brunson was going to have the ball. He was going to score and go ahead, and then we were going to lose. But
that's why you can't be upset with them losing. Look, man, they got Quentin Jackson, who's supposed to be playing for the Boom, in the starting lineup. You're playing Tommy Bradley and some dude named Matthews and some dude named Thompson. And they got a guy on the bench named McLaughlin I've never heard of. And the way I'm watching this game, guys, is Pascal Siakam is the best he's ever been right now, especially in the fourth quarter. He was incredible. Andrew Nembhard may be the best he's ever been right now. And when you throw those two guys together with the other core that are going to be back, this is going to be a really good team, Grant.
I know. And back to your point of, like, every loss helps you for the draft. It no question does. But at some point, you do want to see them pull one out every once in a while. Tonight would have been
Absolutely.
a nice one to do that. But you always want to beat the Knicks. You want to beat the Bucks. You want to beat the Cavs. You want to beat the closer teams, more of the rivals. The Pistons, right? If this was one of those random Monday night games against like the Pelicans or the Kings or something, and they lost like this, you're just kind of like, it'll help you for the draft. Yeah. And you kind of feel that way tonight, but you still wanted to win. This is a really good draft class. I haven't been able to come on here and talk about this draft class that's going to be coming through, but I watch a lot of college basketball, and the players in college right now are insanely good, and the Pacers are going to get a good draft pick. And it's in the back of everybody's mind, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it on the Pacers report, is that think about when you get the good draft pick, whether it be like AJ DeBonsa or one of these other great players in the draft, and then you get him to pair with a healthy Tyrese Halliburton. Hopefully you get Siakam back, Nembhard, Mathurin. You get these guys back, they're going to be a pretty dang good team next year. So you'll take this weird season where you have a shorter off season because you played as as many games as you possibly could have in the NBA season. You went to Game 7 of the finals last year, and you'll take kind of this weird in between season where you don't have your franchise player. You're playing with a lot of guys that are going to fluctuate between the Boom and the Pacers that are, driving back and forth between Noblesville and downtown Indy. You'll take that, right? It's only going to help you for the future. It's going to be a fun next few years, I think, and we're going to look back on a game like this and not even really, bat an eye, because I think they're going to be good next year. I still think this team is good now. Like, I think they have the pieces to be a really good team. They just can't close games. And when you can't close games, obviously you're not going to win. But like, you turn the ball over there silly there at the end where Siakam lost his footing. And the thing is that you would have just liked to have a chance there to get a look, to get a shot, and you turn it over. You can't do that in the waning seconds.
Grant, you're the college guy, so I do want to talk about some of these players here in just a second, but I want to go through a little bit of the box score and talk a little bit more about this game real fast. Number one, Andrew Nembhard was incredible. He scored 31 points on 19 shots. He was 4 for 5 from the three-point line. He had 4 assists and just 2 turnovers, was completely in control. As I said, Pascal Siakam had a really ugly start to this game, could not hit anything, still wound up with 26 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. And Quentin Jackson, who I mentioned started the game tonight, had a really nice night, and looks like he might be a guy who might be a future contributor off the bench for this franchise. So, some positives.
If we're focusing on reaction, I'm struggling to find positives. I think Nembhard,
To see how good Siakam and Nembhard are, and see that.
I'm not. Well, give me a second and let me respond. I think Nembhard had a hell of a game. The inside game is horrible.
Yeah.
There's no offensive rebounding. You got Huff 0 for 5 again, shooting the three-pointer, and he should be inside and challenging for offensive rebounds. We have no second-chance opportunities because there's nobody rebounding.
But you're talking about guys who aren't even going to be part of this franchise in the
future. We're talking about this season, and I'm optimistic, but I think we're a long ways from where we were last year.
Because we're playing Jay Huff and Tony Bradley and Garrison Matthews and Ethan Thompson.
And you're playing a Knicks team that's down Hart. They're down Towns. They're down McBride. They're just as banged up as we are. And
okay, they're also playing for something.
And they're playing at home and they can't win. And they're going to get beat by the Pelicans next. And then we're going to get lucky to get in the lottery and we'll be at the bottom.
Well, if they have one of the worst 4 records in the league, they're going to have a top 6 pick.
We'll be 6.
And there we go.
And we'll end up with someone like Jarris Walker. Let's talk about him. Horrible. What was he, the 6th pick? Benedict Mathurin was awful. Somebody had to be good. Siakam's been solid the whole season. And you're absolutely right. Having the best season of his career. Nembhard, I thought Nembhard played fantastic, but the two of them just aren't enough.
Well, they're the only 2 on this roster who are going to be a major factor on the team next year. So that's good. Right? Benedict Mathurin is not going to be a Pacer next year.
No.
Quentin Jackson is not going to be contributing to the Pacers. Jay Huff, if he's on the Pacers next year, is going to be coming off the bench as a 3-point shooting specialist. Isaiah Jackson, Jarris Walker, they are not part of the plans as far as I can tell.
No.
TJ McConnell was great tonight. The guys who are going to be there were great.
You got to get your
the guys who are going to be on the team were great.
Year. You got to get your Miles Turner for next year.
We have that, and
we got that in Jay Huff.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Same player. They're the exact same player.
When you give the opposition the opportunity to have the offensive rebounds and score at the times that they're scoring, because your freaking center is
diddling around at the 3-point
Yes.
line. 0 for 5 tonight from the 3-point line. Will say this: he had 10 rebounds. 4 of them are on the offensive end, but he's a horrible rebounder.
Yes.
Like I said, I like him as a backup center who can come off for a change of pace, but they're going to need to address the center position for sure.
And we knew that going into this season. I think that they were going to have to address the center position. And don't get me wrong, I'm optimistic for 26, 27, but it's just getting difficult to watch.
It's a little frustrating, but I always watch it with an eye on the future, like we did a few years ago when they had a high draft pick. And the good thing about this is, Grant, even with the 6th pick in the draft next year, if that's the best they end up doing, they're going to get a really good player to go along with this core.
Yeah, Greg. I was just looking at some mock drafts here while you guys were talking. You kind of forget about some of the guys that are in there, like Darren Peterson, who seems to be the consensus number 1 pick. The Pacers got the number 1 pick. It's hard to pass him up. But you have other guys in this class like AJ DeBonsa from BYU, who is a hell of a player. Caleb Wilson at North Carolina would be a great addition to this team.
Love him.
Imagine pairing him out there with him and Siakam and letting Siakam take him under his wing and develop him and make him a player. I'm telling you, that's going to pay off. And then again, the healthy Halliburton. I know we've already talked about it, but the healthy Halliburton next year is going to be so crucial to this team's success in 26,
It's going to take Halliburton 2 months to get into the season to be even ready to compete.
No, I don't think that's true. I think he's going to be competing once the summer comes.
I don't.
Agree.
That's the plan.
I disagree. He's not going to get up to. He's not going to have the lungs for it. It's going to take him a while to get his legs under him.
The plan has been to start as soon as the season ends, and to ramp up and play all summer, because it's 365 days, and you're full clear there. And he should be in great shape by the time the season comes and ready to go. By the way,
I hope you're right, but I still think it'll take time to build the chemistry with whoever's there.
Grant, Mike and I have been beaten down by the Pacers clearly over the years.
I can tell.
He just expects the worst with everything.
No, it's just, I told you before we even got on this call, I was going to be pissed off because we got beat by the Knicks. I hate the Knicks.
I don't blame you, man.
And I don't care if somebody scored 50 points for the Pacers. I would not be happy about this loss. And I think that's what it is. It's the Knicks. And I'm not optimistic after this. And that's just going to continue to have a really rough season to watch. Pray for a top 3 pick instead. I don't think the NBA gods are going to be good enough to us to give us a top 3 pick in the draft.
All right. Hey, Grant, let's talk about some of the other guys who will be available, even if they don't get a top 3 pick in the draft. You didn't even mention Cameron Boozer, who is going to be a great NBA player, a very good NBA player at the very least. Michael Brown from Louisville at point guard has been incredible. You probably don't want another point guard, but still. Nate Ament from Tennessee has been really good as a freshman. He looks like one of the guys most ready to compete right now. And then Koa Pete at Arizona has been leading that team. 15 points a game as a freshman. And all these guys have franchise player written all over them.
It's so loaded, isn't it? This is going to be one of the, like we said, one of the better draft classes of the last few years. Maybe, I don't know about the decade, but there's been some decent draft classes. This one seems to just be a little different. Any of those players I think would be great. But like you said, you don't want another point guard. Like when you get Halliburton, you'll have McConnell, Foley ready to go. And even if you sign someone, I just don't know that you need 3 potential capable starting point guards. I think you need a kind of a slasher, can get to the rim protector, like a Caleb Wilson. I think Caleb Wilson and Cameron Boozer fit that mold pretty good. Even AJ DeBonsa, I think, kind of fills really, really good. In my opinion, I'd like to have Devonta over all of them. Number one player in his recruiting class, plays at BYU. He's got BYU as a top 10 team this year. He's been a heck of a player so far. And I would just, he's the one that stands out to me. But if come draft night, they draft Caleb Wilson or Cameron Boozer, if they get one of those top picks, then I'm not going to sit there and be upset.
Yeah. Things are set up for this franchise. We've talked about it on here, Grant, but Bill Simmons and Zach Lowe talked about the most fun teams to watch. And as Mike mentioned, the Pacers were number 31 out of 32 on their most fun to watch list. And they're probably not wrong. But they also mentioned that this was the best tank situation since the Spurs and Tim Duncan. And I think they're right.
I think they do. This is
they had David Robinson, who was injured, and they stunk, and they got Tim Duncan to go along with them. And it seems like that's what the Pacers are headed toward. And that ended up with what? 5 championships?
Yeah. And
Good run.
And a Hall of Fame coach. And you've got I don't know how you guys feel about this. I think you got a future Hall of Fame coach over there coaching this team right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. I didn't know if there was some
I might be
crazy...
mad, but I'm not. I might be frustrated, but I'm not delusional.
He's not perfect, but he's better than half of the coaches already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's really good. And so hopefully they can, this is no question, a dream tank situation. And again, you knew it was going to be like this coming in. You didn't expect this team without your franchise guy to come out and just rail everybody again and win clutch games all the time like you did in the playoffs and play close games good down the stretch. You knew it was going to be like this the entire season.
No, I disagree with that because I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I thought they were going to be a lot more competitive.
But when
I think injuries played a big part in
and then they lost Smith and Toppin and Nimhart for 3 weeks.
But at the beginning of the season, I was optimistic that they would at least make the playoffs. And
me too.
Yeah.
And honestly, I believe that if they had been healthy, they probably would have. At least been competitive for that spot. But like I said, you're playing guys who have no business in the NBA. And even if you're playing them only 10, 12 minutes a game because you have to fill in, that's a lot of time for guys who don't belong on an NBA court. Now, granted, Mike mentioned the Knicks had that too. The Knicks really had a bunch of guys, a G League guys tonight too.
When will Neesmith be back?
No idea. I'm guessing they're taking their time.
Right now, injury reserve list says like December 26th, but
because that's how you tank without asking your players to tank.
keep him healthy.
Yeah, that's right.
And
like I said, it's a win-win season. When they win, it's great. It shows the development. When they lose, it's better for the draft. It's just, Mike, this one is one you really wanted, and it's one that they had.
That's the thing. They had it from the start. That first quarter, I was like, all right. New York came off that extra game. We had the rest. We had the time to prepare for it. We were competitive until the end. And an unforced error at the end and a turnover. That's just not what you want to see when, I would have just liked to have seen a shot go up with 4.4 seconds left and had a shot go up instead of the turnover. I think that's what probably pissed me off the most.
I agree, Mike.
All right, guys, we will talk again on Monday for the Pacers report. We'll talk about the Pelicans game, and we will preview the Boston Celtics game. The Celtics, by the way, also lost their player, and they have one of the best records in the NBA, so that's interesting how that's worked out. Sure seems like what's going to happen. Guys, thanks so much. Always appreciate it. Grant, thanks for being a guest. And
thank you, Grant.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Again Monday. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.